Timothy Mugg, the movie, a stuffed wombat production.
This is the Shirehampton Stuffed Wombat Society with their performance of Timothy Mugg, the movie. Our story begins as a man in late middle age, wearing one of his most comfortable suits of armour, makes his way to the home of Major General Sir Timothy Mugg, OBE. Dick Zung, for it is he, has decided to pay his old friend a surprise visit. Surprise, surprise, the unexpected hits you between the eyes.
Oh, Zung, it's you.
Surprise? Is this convenient?
Well,
I know we're not lunching at Tina's Tongue Twister until Wednesday, and I said I'd give you a call tomorrow, but I had an hour free. Well, a couple of hours. Well, the afternoon. Well, the whole day, really, so I thought I'd pop round.
So I see.
So, are you going to keep me standing on the doorstep all day, or...?
I suppose you'd better come in.
Thanks. Look, is everything all right, old boy? You seem a bit distracted. Have I interrupted something?
Well, to be honest, I was...
By the way, there are some very posh cars parked outside your place. A couple of big Mercedes with tinted windows, very grand looking.
They belong to my drug dealers. You've called in the middle of a big negotiation over the price of 50 grams of cocaine.
You're joking.
Yes.
What?
Yes, I'm joking. Of course I'm not in the middle of a drugs deal. Of course I don't have drug dealers.
Well, that's a relief. I thought for a moment. Well, never mind. Anyway, if you do need anything like that, I'm sure my friend Ketamine Kenny can sort you out.
I don't.
No. Quite right. So, here we are.
Yes, here we are.
In the hall.
In, as you say, the hall.
It's an advance on the doorstep, but I still don't quite feel that I've been fully welcomed into the heart of the domicile.
Oh, look, you'd better come on through. I was hoping to keep all this quiet, but as you're here, come into the living room.
Thanks. I say, what's all this?
Quite impressive, isn't it?
It is. Looks like you've turned the place into a Hollywood film studio. Those cameras and lights, the makeup table with the bulbs around the mirror, and that chair with director written on the back of it.
Yes, cost me quite a bundle, but it's all top-end stuff.
So, have I stumbled on some sort of movie-making fantasy of yours? Recreate the golden days of Hollywood? Ready when you are, Mr. D. Mugg? That sort of thing? All you need to add is the director's monocle and riding crop and megaphone.
No, nothing like that. It's all for real.
You're going to make a real film?
That's the plan.
What about?
Well, that's why I was keeping it to myself.
Oh, go on, you can tell me.
It's very private.
Private?
Private.
Oh, I get it. Private, eh?
What do you mean?
Eh? Nudge, nudge.
What on earth are you going on about?
It's naughty movies, isn't it?
What?
You're going to make some naughty movies.
No, I'm not.
I read in the Daily Mail that suburbia's full of it. Behind those staid front doors and closed curtains, there's all sorts of malarkey going on.
I am not making...
Stuff that would make your hair curl. Behaving like an army of randy ocelots.
Randy ocelots?
Mind you, they can film all that on camcorders and mobile phones these days. You don't need expensive equipment like this.
Exactly. Which should suggest to you that this stuff is for making something far worthier than a naughty movie, as you call it. Something much more high-minded.
That's a pity in a way. I was quite looking forward to the prospect of you trying to persuade Lady Angela Whittlestone to disrobe on camera.
Ew! Now I feel unwell.
So What is this worthy, high-minded project you're working on?
We've come this far, I suppose I might as well tell all. I'm going to make a film of my life.
That's
Yes, I know. I realise it must seem quite self-obsessed, but...
not at all, old boy. It's a genius idea.
You really think so?
I do. Think of all the adventures we've had together. They're just made for the big screen.
Well,
I mean, there's the time we solved the great mince pie thefts, and that time we saved the Queen's Christmas speech, and when we found the Yeti in the Himalayas, and all the times we saved the world from the clutches of the dastardly Count Adolf Brussel and his wicked schemes.
Yes, about that.
And that new sport you invented, and the time we clashed with David Attenborough. I've even got a hazy recollection of meeting aliens, too. Good Lord, Mugg, it's all just made for the big screen. Why did we never think of this before?
Well, now we have. Or I have.
And I expect you were keeping it from me so it would be a surprise.
Something like that.
What an adventure this will be. Tell you what, though, who will play us? They'd have to be excellent actors, able to portray a wide range of human emotions with absolute conviction.
Well, funnily enough, that's sort of what today is about.
Really?
Yes. Today I'm actually holding auditions with a couple of the actors I thought could play me. Those Mercedes you saw outside were the chauffeured cars I ordered to pick them up from the airport.
From the airport? They've flown in to be here? Must be big-name actors, then.
Pretty big, I'd say.
Amazing. Mind you, it'll need some big-name actors to bring you and me to life on the big screen, eh?
Listen, about that.
I hope you cast someone who looks just as good in a suit of armour as I do to play me. I don't want any old Tom, Dick or Benedict bringing me to life on screen. Anyway, when do these auditions start?
Right now, I reckon. Might as well crack on with it. The actors have been in the next room preparing themselves. You can watch if you like.
I certainly will.
Right. Can we have the first act come in, please?
Good Lord, Mugg, isn't that...
Yes, it is. Now keep quiet. Thank you for coming. If you could just take a seat, look into the camera and say a few words about yourself.
I'm Morgan Freeman. I am the winner of 1 Oscar, and I have appeared in famous movies such as Seven and The Shawshank Redemption.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Now, you're reading for the part of Timothy Mugg. That's me. Hello. So could you just look into the camera and read the lines on this page of script?
My name is Major General Timothy Mugg of the Queen's Own Things. One day I was satting and sotting in my office when my old chum, Dick Zung, burst in and told me, Mr. Mugg, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Hang on, that's not in the script.
No, Mr. Mugg, this is me, Morgan Freeman, asking you a question.
Oh, I see. Right. Yes, quite. Fire away.
Mr. Mugg, will all the dialogue be like this? Lots of satting and sotting and my old chum?
Well, yes, that is the way I speak. Certainly in my early adventures.
I see. In that case, Mr. Mugg, I regret to tell you that I shall have to withdraw myself from consideration for this role. I do not feel that I can bring the necessary gravitas to the lines you have scripted.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. Is it the script itself?
Oh, no, not at all. I just feel this script needs a different actor to do it justice. If you'll excuse me, I'll just head back to my Mercedes.
Yes, right. Goodbye. Thank you for coming. Oh, that's a pity. I had high hopes there.
Don't be downhearted, old boy. I could see one potential problem if you'd cast Morgan Freeman as you.
Which is?
Well, I'm all for colour-blind casting and all that, but he's not exactly white, is he?
True.
And also, isn't he a bit old to be playing the young, adventurous Timothy Mugg?
Also true. To be honest, and this is rather embarrassing, I auditioned Morgan Freeman by accident.
By accident?
Yes. I thought I'd book Martin Freeman. You know, Tim from The Office and Watson in Sherlock.
Martin Freeman? Oh, you don't want him playing you. He'd be terrible casting.
Why?
Well, he's nothing like you. He's tiny, and he's got those big hairy feet.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has. Have you seen him in The Hobbit? Great big clumping feet and about 4 foot tall.
You do know that's all special effects, don't you?
Anyway, shouldn't you be getting in your other auditionee? Don't want to leave them next door fretting.
Good point. Could the next actor come in, please?
Oh, I say, Mugg, that's...
Yes, I know. Now shush. Thank you for coming. Could you just take a seat, look into the camera and introduce yourself, please?
My name is Sir Patrick Stewart, and I am a widely acclaimed stage actor who has played many of the great Shakespearean roles.
And Star Trek.
I beg your pardon,
Star Trek. You did Star Trek.
but I'm chiefly known for my commanding stage presence and my genius at interpreting the words of the bard.
And for playing Captain Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek for 7 seasons on TV and in a series of films.
Look, can we just forget the Star Trek stuff and concentrate on my work as a theatrical powerhouse?
If you insist. So you're reading for the part of Major General Timothy Mugg, OBE.
I've got a knighthood, you know.
Yes, thank you. If you could just look into the camera and read the words from the script. And action.
My name is Major General Timothy Mugg, and these are my adventures, my continuing adventures to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go.
Hang on. That's not in my script. That's your monologue that you deliver at the start of every Star Trek episode. What happened to the great Shakespearean?
I do apologize. Force of habit. Sometimes just a little of the old Star Trek dialogue comes back to me.
If you could continue with my script as I wrote it, please.
Of course. These are my adventures as recorded by my old friend Dick Zung. Dick Zung? What sort of name is that? Commander Riker, that's a proper name, and Mr. Data, and Mr. Worf. Oh, Mr. Worf, it was always you with your big manly chest and your crinkly Klingon forehead.
Sir Patrick?
Mr. Worf, how I just longed to snuggle up to you. But I had the Starship Enterprise to command. How could I abandon that and confess my love?
Sir Patrick, please stop.
What? Oh, yes.
I think we'll leave it there, thank you. Do feel free to go to your Mercedes. We'll let you know.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And good riddance. Good Lord, Zung, I wasn't expecting that.
Quite. Seems this filmmaking lark's not as easy as it looks. I hope you have an easier time auditioning for someone to play me.
Yes, listen, about that.
Anyway, I think I'm going to push off. I've had quite enough excitement for one day. I'll phone you tomorrow. I'll see myself out. Cheerio, old boy.
Cheerio. Thank goodness for that. It was beginning to get awkward. Can it be a bit of a shock for him when he finds out? All right, I'm coming. Zung, it's you. You know this isn't how phone calls work, don't you?
You beast!
You what?
You complete and utter beast.
Steady on, old boy. What's the matter?
I've been reading this.
My script. I was looking for that.
Well, I took it with me yesterday. I noticed how reluctant you were to discuss my part in this film, so I thought I'd have a look. And what did I find? Eh? Spit it out.
You're not in the film.
Exactly. I'm not in it. Dick Zung, your oldest mate, by your side through every adventure and misfortune, is not in the film.
Look, I can explain.
And instead, I find the character of Dicketta Zung over the, and I quote, sexy and glamorous young niece of an unnamed acquaintance of yours. And this Dicketta is your sidekick and eventually lover when you woo her into bed.
I quite like that bit.
But it's all made up. You never wooed me into bed.
Did you want me to?
That's not the point. The point is I, who should be in your film, am not in your film.
Look, Zung, I'm very sorry, but when I went to the film studio, they were very enthusiastic about the whole project. They just wanted one change. They said the audience wouldn't accept two middle-aged men having all these adventures, but they would if it was an older man with a younger woman, like in every Hollywood movie ever made. You know, like that film Entrapment with Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Not her again. She caused us enough problems last time.
And if I wanted the studio to back the movie and promote it, I had to give in.
So who is going to play this role that really should be me then?
The studio suggested Zendaya or Miley Cyrus.
But they're nothing like me.
No, but they are sexy, young and glamorous.
And you'll be cuddling up to them at your age? Disgusting.
But it won't be me, will it? It'll be whichever actor plays me, if I can ever cast one.
Well, I still think it's rotten. After all I've done for you, I'm being written out of history. No one will ever know I existed.
Not quite. There are those audio plays we've done together.
No one listens to those.
Look, I know you're upset. Leave it with me, and I'll go back to the studio and see if they'll reconsider.
Really?
Yes, least I can do. Can't promise, but if you don't ask. Ah, Zung, thank you for coming round.
So, how did it go? Did the studio say yes?
Not quite. They still want the character of the glamorous young niece in the movie, but they did agree that you, or rather a Dick Zung character, can be in the film. You get third billing, a bit like Colonel Pickering in My Fair Lady after Professor Higgins and Eliza Doolittle.
Well, that sounds encouraging.
There is one proviso, though. They've given me a list of just 2 actors to consider for the role, and if we don't like either of them, then it's Zung out. You won't be in the movie.
But surely one of these actors will be suitable.
Let's find out. I'm just about to do the auditions.
Really? I didn't see any Mercedes outside with tinted windows.
No, they came on the bus.
I see. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Let's get started. Can the first actor come in, please? Thank you. Now, just take a seat. Look into the camera and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Johnny Vegas,
Oh my God.
and I'm auditioning for the role of Dick Zung.
No.
And if I get the part, I can make the tea too. I've got bags and bags left over from those PG Tips ads.
No.
And Monkey, I can bring Monkey.
No.
Hello, Monkey.
No.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vegas. We'll let you know. Goodbye.
That was appalling. Johnny Vegas playing me? Never.
Trouble is, we're down to just one candidate now, and if he doesn't work out... Oh, well. Would the next actor come in, please?
Oh, this looks more hopeful.
Just take a seat. Look into the camera and tell us about yourself, please.
My name is Alan Bennett, and I am auditioning for the role of Dick Zung in the life story of Major General Timothy Mugg, OBE.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. I must say, I tend to think of you as a playwright.
That is true, but I have also performed very successfully on stage and screen, mostly in my own productions.
Now, this role will be quite active. Have you done much in the way of action movies?
I was once considered for the role of Doctor Who on the television.
Seriously?
Oh, yes. It was the 1996 TV movie version that the Americans made. I was going to be the Doctor, and my young assistant was going to be played by Dame Thora Hird.
I see.
I'd written this script where the Daleks invade Scunthorpe, and Dame Thora and I fight them off, armed only with some meat paste sandwiches and a macaroon.
Right.
Of course, if I was to take this role, I would require full artistic control of the whole movie.
I don't think that would be possible, Mr. Bennett.
Oh well, never mind. I didn't really want the role in the first place. I better be going. I bought a cheap day return and the clock is ticking. Ta-ta.
Goodbye. So, where does that leave us, Zung?
We're buggered. Well, I am. You're okay. You're free to go ahead with the movie without me in it.
Yes, I am, but you know what? I'm not going to.
You're not?
No. This whole episode has made me see how controlling and distorting the movie industry can be. Of course you should be in the movie of my life. It would be madness if you weren't. And if the studio won't accept that, then I just won't make the movie, and that's that.
Oh, Mugg, that's quite marvellous of you. You know, you could definitely woo me into bed with speeches like that.
Let's not get carried away.
Pity, though, you've got all this camera equipment and lights and everything. What will you do with it?
Well, I've got a vague idea. Let me just make a phone call. Hello? Is that Lady Angela Whittleston? It's Timothy Mugg here. Listen, do you fancy coming round to my place and disturbing and making a naughty movie? You do? That's marvellous. What time can you get here? We'll have you ironed.
Timothy Mugg, the movie, was written by Richard Hall and starred Tim Reed as Timothy Mugg. Richard Hall was the announcer, Dick Zung, Morgan Freeman, Patrick Stewart, Johnny Vegas and Alan Bennett. Sound effects were cut, and it was a stuffed wombat production.